What's up, chat? What's up? Sorry for the horrible lighting. And also, what the heck? Is it okay, duly noted that they're on motion sense, so I have to keep moving. Alright, so guys, I have to do the on air thing. So I'm gonna be not so much looking at chat so much when I'm doing the on air thing, because I'm actually like I'm on radio chat. I'm doing the thing, chat. So if you guys want to listen to the music, because I can't have the music on stream, make sure you guys go to Black Scroll Radio. I will put the link in. I have to do the thing. You guys are just gonna kind of sit here and listen. What's up? Thank you so much for listening, guys. I appreciate it. Let me do the thing. All right, guys, welcome back to a brand new episode of In a Flash, guys. We have so much to talk about. So much has been happening in the sports world. I hope you guys are excited as much as I am. And honestly, I don't even know where to begin. But one place that we can begin here is we can begin by doing a little bit of a more so of getting to know me and getting to know some more about what sports is for me. And I feel like having a connection on that and whatnot for sports is extremely important. So again, if you guys don't remember from last episode, I am Katie. I have a couple years experience within sports. I started as a esports broadcaster, more now moving into your common um your common sports. And so with that, I I live stream on YouTube. I do different things, including helping out with Sports Corner, which is a TV2 show. If you guys are not familiar, I hope you guys are having a great day. It's rainy outside. I know how we all feel about that. It's rainy. It's cold. And so what we're gonna do today, if you guys want to hang out with me, we are going to talk a little bit about the KSU lacrosse. We're going to talk about some women's basketball, men's basketball, huge games coming up this weekend. We also have, once again, just a career star that we're going to be talking about. And also kind of just the NBA All-Star, NFL, MLB. I mean, it's spring. What else do you guys expect? It's spring sports. Spring sports are back in full swing, and I hope you guys are excited. And then we're gonna cap it off with some other things and whatnot. But I want to know, just kind of connecting back to sports, is think back to your like first sports memory. And somebody asked me that the other day, and I'm like, oh, my first sports memory. I don't remember what that is. But honestly, I do remember. There's always a first somewhere, and my first honestly has been it was one of my first Super Bowls that I ever got to watch. I don't remember what Super Bowl number it was. I'm so sorry. I'm horrible with that. But one of my favorite memories. I was just thinking about that coming off of our Super Bowl weekend. It was just something I was thinking of. But nonetheless, let's dive into our first topic of today. Let's go ahead and talk about Kent State's lacrosse here. And honestly, you guys should know. You guys should know already where I'm going with that. Um, I'm disappointed. I really thought they could do better against George Mason. George Mason just kind of came out a little bit stronger. However, with George Mason, they did take down Kent State, unfortunately 13-6 in Kent State's home opener. However, we we only lost 13-6. We did have Taylor Montaro faced 22 shots and saved 9 of them. So once again, another 500 day coming from our lacrosse team. Because last week we can recall, we talked about the same thing, looking at this game and how we were going into this game, just kind of doing the same thing. And I feel like we're at the same place in the same crossroad that we were at last week with Ohio State. We had, a 500 with our goalkeeping. We were able to, score a few. We were able to keep up for, the first chunk of the game. And then it's just not enough. The Patriots started the game with a back-to-back goals in the first 5 minutes already. We were down 2-0. However, going into the end with the first quarter, Jackie Wolford tied things up. So we were back. We tied back up. It was like I said, it was a close knit game. However, one of my favorite things that I want to note, however, from this game is like it's a home opener, and this just gets me every single time. Because I love it so much just because of the story that's like with it. Is rookie Holly Greenberg scored her first career goal in the third quarter. So imagine it being you're a freshman, you're coming in, this is your first home opening game, and you were able to score a game that, it's a pretty important game. It's a pretty important game seeing that we started off 0-1 against Ohio State. We started off the season with a really hard game against a tough team, a Big Ten team nonetheless. And then we were able to be like, okay, we lose to them, we're going to go home, we're going to see what we can do. And then seeing Haley be able to do that, with Jackie Wolford, with, these different key players, with her being able to get her first goal. I'm glad it happened in front of the home crowd. However, even with that effort, the Golden Flashes put in, it unfortunately was not enough to bring Kent lacrosse team to a victory. And like I said, Kent State lacrosse starts their season off 0-2. That's hard. That's hard for me to say. I had so much hope, especially just thinking about like last week. So much went into having that idea and whatnot of we're coming out of a hard game. We have to forget about it. We have to forget about it. We have to be able to go into that hard game. We have to be able to not even go into that hard game. I mean, come out of that hard game and be able to figure out, okay, our goalie is saving half these shots. How do we get started? How do we get something started on the other side of the field? Is it a midfielder's thing? Is it an attacker thing? Just trying to get those different things started is where I can kind of see Kent State is struggling with. There's very, very low numbers on their effort and whatnot. And then just capitalizing on those, when you're down a man, being able to capitalize on that. But with that, 0-2, we have to put those games behind us. We have to put the George Mason game and the Ohio State game behind us, because next the Golden Flashes will face 0-1 Delaware State. Delaware State that will be their second game of the season. They're coming off a loss against UMBC with a final score of 2-20. Them not marking very much in the saves or in the goalies department, like the goalie department, having a little struggle there. This face-off will be in the third in history between these two teams, between Kent and between Delaware. The first two matches both taking place within Kent, so Kent will actually travel to Delaware State to be able to play this game on Friday, February 23rd at 3 p.m. Again, that game is going to be in Delaware. So moving from our women's lacrosse team, let's stay within the women's department here. We're going to go to women's basketball. I mean, we had some action going on last night. We had the Ohio Bobcats versus our Kent State Golden Flashes last night. It was a neck-and-neck game all night, all the way through. Kent State women's basketball unfortunately fell to Ohio after trying to claw their way back in an evenly matched event. I mean, the whole game just just back and forth of being able to just have an even contest like that is important for this team, especially as we're starting to look towards the end of the season. However, even in the events of trying to claw their way back or maintain the leads that they did have, it just was not enough. After trailing by 10, the Golden Flashes tied up the game. However, the Bobcats did end up winning the game 79-77. And this tie came like, okay, let me paint you a picture here. Okay. The last couple seconds, everybody says a game's not over until it's over. And these are one of those types of games that really show that it's not over until it's over. The tie that came towards the end of the game came from junior Bridget Dunn sinking her third three-pointer of the game, tying it with only 18 seconds left. With only 18 seconds left, we had a tie game. 77-77. To be able to get to that point, Kent State was led by senior Katie Shoemate, who had another career high night with her fifth double-double of the season, marking 27 points and 11 rebounds going into the night. We had an amazing night from her. We had, like I said, back-to-back. However, the grind to keep the lead for both teams. It ended with the Bobcats' lead due to a defensive foul, giving them a chance, putting them at the free throw line, and that was the go ahead buckets came from the free line. Oh, that's rough. Only having 18 seconds and it's a tie game. The absolute pressure that comes with that. It's challenging. Especially it's challenging, especially when it's against an in-conference team like the Bobcats. However, before this game, the Kent State women's basketball team was given the news that their final home game would be on air in national television as they face Ball State. So before going into this game, they had the news that their final game is going to be broadcasted against, it's going to be nationally televised against Ball State. Kent State currently has a record of 15-8 with a MAC record now of 10-3. Ball State currently is leading the MAC with a record of 22-3 and a record of 11-1 in the MAC, and Toledo just behind with a pretty similar record. And Kent will round out the top three in the MAC conference for women's basketball. However, with this, keep in mind, there is only 6 games remaining for the women's basketball. Pretty similar to the men's as well. That's hard to think about. However, before we can even worry about or even think about going into that Ball State, we have to consider what's up in front of us. They have to face their conference rival of Akron U first. The women's basketball team will face our rival on Saturday in the MAC, February 24th, 1 p.m. But if you can't make it to the MAC, you guys can catch the game on ESPN+. So we're gonna stay on the hardwood. We're gonna stay on the hardwood. We're gonna move it over to the men's basketball. The men's basketball, they're in need of a little more help. Right now, the men's team is sitting at 13-13 with a 6-7 record in the MAC. That's hard. That's hard, especially since Kent State fell to the Bobcats as well on the road, 63-57. Having another tough loss like that against a MAC conference team, that really hurts the Flashes. In that game, the Flashes shot 31% from the field, but recorded a 75% completion from the free throw line. And again, I mean, it was another one of those. It was another one of those close games where it's like back to back, where it keeps happening. Where it's like, okay, score for score, matching. Because again, the Bobcats, they didn't really do much better in the sense of with their shots and whatnot. The Bobcats only did 35% from the field. But what made the difference in this game specifically, what made the difference was their completion from the free throw line. The Bobcats was able to do 87% from the free throw line with a similar number of shots. So again, just it's small things within games that are making that difference, that are being able to determine these games, which is hard. Von Cameron Davis and Jalen Solinger led the Golden Flashes with 14 points apiece. However, every single player who stepped onto the court from Kent scored points, with 17 off the bench. So at least the scoring, it's getting mixed around. It's going around. It's being able to do what it's got to do. It's small things that are keeping Kent from being able to succeed in important games like these, especially the important games of when they have to be winning against MAC conferences. Coming back from the half, it was tied, but the Bobcats took the lead with a 3. So at the half, they had the lead. It just going through the second half, it was a struggle because Kent State they were just struggling with fouls. So once again, another thing that was keeping them from being able to succeed within that game. So between the struggle of being able to make sure that stuff was good, being able to make sure that what happened was still their fault, however. Again, the struggling with the free throws to struggling with a bunch of fouls, it cost them close games, and it's happened all season of causing them close games. So it ends with a struggle coming with a loss. However, once again, I'm gonna say it just like I said with women's basketball, it's another big game. Taking a pause here for dramatic effect. Kent will travel to our rival on Friday, February 23rd. So, yes, both women's basketball and men's basketball will both play Akron this weekend. Men's will be on Friday in Akron. Tip off is set for 6 p.m. You can also catch the national televised game on CBS Sports Network. And then again on Saturday, you can find Akron facing off against us in the MAC on Saturday, February 24th at 1 p.m. But you can also catch that one on ESPN Plus. All right, we're gonna take a little break here. We are going to come back, and we're gonna discuss a little bit more of more national oriented sports. Thank you guys so much for listening to In a Flash. We'll be back in just a flash. All right, chat. How we doing? How's it hanging? We out here making radio. We doing the thing. We doing the thing right now, guys. If you haven't already, make sure to press the like button and go ahead and share out the stream because that's literally what I'm doing right now. If you guys have any song requests that you want to hear on break, put them in chat. But you have to listen to Black Squirrel Radio for the actual song, though. So, let's go ahead, copy that link. Let's go ahead. We're going to post it on Snapchat, and then we're going to post it on Instagram. Sheesh. Do the thing! Why won't you do the thing? Wow! I have to also go do that on Instagram, but I also need to loosen my shoes because I literally got here barely. I'm literally struggling trying to retie my shoes. That's what's happening right now. If you see this, I'll be gone for a few minutes. Okay. And yeah, chat, I will be reading. I'll see chat, but I won't be able to respond to chat unless I'm on break. Which my breaks are going to be 10 minutes. 10, 15 minutes. Is around the time that they're going to be. Ew. Ew. Ew, ew, ew. Why? Why does it keep doing that? Stop doing that. Thank you. Oh my god. It kept taking the picture sideways, and I'm like, stop taking the picture sideways. Chat. I'm gonna get to say this here, because guys, this is more behind the scenes and more personal and whatnot. So we are going to have Ooh, I don't want to close that out. I must close out my notes for my show. We don't want to do that. Sheesh. I'm gonna post in the Discord that I'm live. Let's go post in the Disky. So guys, if you want to listen to it on the actual radio here, we are going to go to blacksquirrelradio.com. If you guys want to listen to my show. Somebody just walked by the window going like this. There's a window out into a hallway right here. That people can see into the radio station while people are alive. I want to pin, there we go, pin message. So people know. I hope you guys are vibing. Again, I can't play the music on stream because I'll get copyrighted. But if you want to listen to the like actual full version, it is there for you. Again, I'm gonna work on getting some better lighting. I could turn on different lighting, but I'll just be gross above lighting. So I could turn the pots up. I could turn the pots up actually. What's up, Luke? What's up? Guys, do I mess with the lighting or nah? I don't know how I feel. This is kind of a vibe. I'm on break for like 6 more minutes here, guys. We might take a longer break. I don't know. That song was long, so let's see. Yeah, that'll be like 6 more minutes. Yeah, and then we'll talk to the top of the hour, guys. I'm talking to chat right here live, but if you guys want to listen to the music, you have to go to blacksquirrelradio.com to be able to listen to the music, be able to get the full radio experience, chat. I'll be right back. I'm gonna mess with the lights. That's actually a lot better. Needs to get more focused light back here though. That's the only problem. Meh. It's bad lighting all around. I don't know what to tell you guys. We'll get better lighting somewhere. If I have an automation mode, so we're just playing Dead Air. That's cool. That's cool. We're learning. What's up, Charles? What's up? Thank you for tuning in. If you guys don't know what's going on, I host my own sports radio show on Black Squirrel Radio. It is a radio station, a part of Kent State. If you guys want to listen to that, if you want to listen to the radio station, you're able to do that in the link that I pinned. There's also a bunch of different shows that happen too. So guys, if you're interested in radio, if you like radio shows, you're an Eagles fan, sorry. Don't look. But yeah, guys, if you're interested in sports and whatnot, like I said, I do coverage for the TV side, but I also do radio now. So if you guys are interested in that, thank you guys so much for being here and following along. You guys can follow my socials if you guys want to see like behind the scenes. Like actually, I need to film some more of my behind the scenes video that I'm making right now. So I'm gonna give you guys, go ahead, type hi, type whatever you guys want to do before I go back to my show. We have 2 songs before we go back to show. So I will be sitting here talking with chat in between here. Do you play games? Like video games? Like what you mean? Okay, I'm gonna let you guys type whatever you want into chat and whatnot, and we'll do the update and whatnot. I just hit my leg on the desk. Fortnite. Fortnite. Video, yeah. I do sometimes, not so much anymore, just because I'm into like I do a lot with Kent State's TV station and also with their radio station now. I don't play games as much as I used to. I have filmed videos for that, but I haven't done anything about them. Also, this headroom is killing me. It's fine. It doesn't matter. Okay, so we're gonna film our update. Ready? Ready? Wow. And then we'll be like, we gotta do the radio thing. You're doing the radio thing. All right, guys. If you see that video, you have to comment. You have to comment. You have to comment. All right, I have to pull up some articles. Guys, I'm playing some seriously good songs. You guys should listen to Black Sport Radio. Ah. There it is. There it is. I have to pull up the numbers. I gotta pull up the numbers so I can talk about something, you know? There we go. There we go. We're doing the thing. We're doing the thing. Chat, if you haven't already, make sure to share out the stream. Press the like button. And we are going to continue our show just shortly. Okay. We got a little bit. Thank you for everyone for pressing the like button. I'm excited to start. Ooh, I just peeked. I'm excited to start getting back into YouTube in general. I'm excited for it. So I hope you guys are excited that I'll be live streaming this show every week. But yeah, guys, like Black Swan Radio is really cool. You guys should listen to the different shows that are on here. There's other sports ones. There is also just ones that just play cool music and do just different stuff and just kind of like vibe. So I love the song that I'm playing right now. I'm hoping it's quiet enough where I don't get copyrighted because that would be really sad. But again, guys, if you want to hear the songs, and you guys can also make song requests too. Again, but if you want to hear the songs, you have to go to the radio station to be able to hear them. We're gonna start the stuff off with Caitlin and Clark, and then we're gonna go into the NBA, and then we're gonna go into some free agency. We got a pretty big next block. So we got 5 stories for the next block. I'm so excited, guys. What's your favorite sport? Favorite spring sport? So like sports that's going on like right now. You look more fit. Have you started working out or something? I've just not been sitting around as much, if I'm being honest. I haven't been working out a whole bunch. I do want to start though. But I appreciate the comment, thank you. What I'm gonna do is get demonetized for my singing. That's what's gonna happen. I also, while we're on break, I also need to. Wow, I'm surprised. Am I not spelling their name correctly? Oh no, I'm not spelling my name right. That's cool. I have to start building out the our next break. Um, just so that way we're good to go while we go. So again, if you guys have any like song requests or you want to hear anything, let me know, guys. What if we did some? Really, really, that's not how it's gonna be in there. Really, really, really. Okay, well, we're going back on air, guys. So what's going on? We are back here in our we are back here in our lovely show. We are kicking off this segment of the show. We're kind of doing a little more national. I mean, this first story that I do have is collegiate, but it's a story that's been going on very nationally, a story that everyone's been keeping their eyes on, a person that everyone is keeping their eyes on. I mean, you guys already know who I'm talking about. Everyone knows that I'm talking about Caitlin Clark, right? Right. So Caitlin Clark is having an absolute all-star career. I mean, to breaking the all-time scoring record in the NCAA for women's basketball, to being only 99 points away from the men's all-time scoring record. I mean, how excited are you right now? Just kind of like mischievously rubbing your hands together. Do you guys think the WNBA is right now being like, oh, Caitlin Clark is like women in like just women's sports just in general is at their all time peak right now in my opinion. Like to seeing how they've been selling out every single Iowa game that Caitlin Clark has been playing in, to seeing the little girls. Like I was scrolling on TikTok, okay? I was scrolling on TikTok a little bit and I saw something that it was really touchy feely and I didn't know how I feel about it. It was like very it was so good. Alright? These girls put together at their school, like how you like the typical like, oh let's have a sleepover, let's do this, let's hang out, let's have a talk, let's watch movies, let's watch scary movies, let's have like a makeover, let's do each other's nails and stuff. These girls got together, had their basketball jerseys on. Now mind you, not just any basketball jerseys. They had WNBA jerseys on. They had a sleepover because all these girls, I think there was like 10 plus middle school girls, all wanted to get together and watch Caitlin Clark play. And I was like, I don't think I've ever seen that before. Like, women in sports right now has been one of the biggest, I don't want to say biggest talks, but it really has been because we're seeing her, we're seeing, Juju, we're seeing like um I mean, do like kind of stepping away from basketball a little bit. We're seeing the hockey league, the women's hockey league, be able to pull interest in. Women in sports is so important right now and at the forefront of a lot of people's minds. It's so cool. Now, I'm going to get a few people to roll their eyes once I say this. Is Taylor Swift. I know, I know. Just by naming her, I'm gonna get eye rolls. I know. bringing in little girls to watch sports that they don't typically watch. Having people as role models into something that they don't typically watch. Again, we were seeing little girls going from watching for Taylor Swift to watch because of Taylor Swift. Not because they're looking for Taylor Swift, but because they want to now watch it because, like, okay, they're going to their dads and being like, hey, I want to watch the NFL with you. Because, yes, granted, because of Taylor Swift, but now they're actually starting to get into the game and having their favorite teams. And I think it's really important to see women like this, little girls especially, be excited about sports, being excited about Caitlin Clark, being excited about the NFL because of Taylor Swift, being excited about hockey because it's now a future career that some of these girls can have. And I think it's really cool. And I know that's putting, like, I'm sure there's something in the back of Caitlin Clark's head being like, okay, I'm doing stuff that not too long ago I wish that I could do. And it's really cool. It's really cool to see her stepping up. It's really cool to see these different things that are starting to develop. It's really cool. I'm sorry. I think it really adds to the sport of really making it, being able to sell these games out the way they have, being able to do that. But circling back here to the original point that I made about Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark has another year of eligibility. She's a redshirt. So she has another year of eligibility. So the question starts to come into mind here as the season, the collegiate season is starting to wrap up. What does she do? Does she stay with Iowa for another year and keep going? Or does she move on to the WNBA? Because there's two different ways that can happen. The first being that she wants to stay with Iowa because it's comfortable, because she is getting girls invested into Iowa. She is doing that. We're seeing that cool story develop. I mean, none to mention, I didn't even mention like the cool story that's developing in TSU. Or the other option is, does she go into the NBA, or not the NBA, the WNBA, to try to see what actually her career is going to develop out to be? People like Steph Curry and Tom Brady have both said that they wanted to play with the best of the best because they wanted to see if they were at their best. And the only way to test to see if they were at their best was to be able to play against the best. And that's kind of where Caitlin Clark is at. Does she want to stay somewhere that's comfortable, or does she want to try to push herself to be able to play against the best of the best? And I think that's what's important right now. Nonetheless, I think it's important for no matter where she ends up playing, no matter what she ends up doing next year, next season, she's still doing stuff important to women in sports. It's still important. Speaking of women in sports, we're gonna have a little segue here. Can we talk about the NBA All-Star game for just a few minutes? Because another thing that connects back to this whole like women in sports thing, we had Sabrina versus Steph. So Sabrina, there was a lot of comments on the type of ball that she used. There was a lot of comments on where she shot from. And so let's break it down for just a couple seconds. The All-Star break happened over last weekend for the NBA, and Steph played Sabrina in a 1v1 for the 3-point contest. Now, mind you, they also had the 3-point contest that happened regularly. The person was able to win the 3-point contest with a score of 26. Now, mind you, the final for Sabrina versus Steph was 29-26. Okay, so 29-26. Sabrina scored the same amount of 3 points that the person who won the 3-point contest scored. So she would have tied the NBA player who won the 3-point contest. And Steph scored 29, which, now, don't get me wrong, very impressive. It's just people making a lot of commentary of how she should have gave herself an advantage and how she should have just taken over and been able to shoot from the WNBA line and not from the NBA line. And now, mind you, yes, she did shoot with the WNBA ball, but she shot from the NBA line, which is impressive in themselves. However, we're gonna move away from that. We're gonna move away from that. There's some other cool stuff that happened in the NBA weekend here, and we had the dunk contest. We had the wow, that's great. We had the celebrity game. We had the come on. It was just all around great. So taking a look at the dunk contest, we have Damian Lillard, who was able to join Stephen Curry, Kyrie Irving, Glenn Rice, and Larry Bird as the only player to capture both awards being the 3-point contest and the All-Star Game MVP in the same year. So he was able to win the 3-point contest. Like I said earlier, he won the 3-point contest with a score of 26. And in the in the absolute, this actually stuns me, the absolute how large of a score there was for the All-Star game. Once again, we're going back to the classic East versus West. There was an absolute record of the East being able to take the West 211 to 186. Yes, 211 to 186. That's crazy to think about. Lillard scored 39 points to be able to take the MVP for that game. But again, more notably, the East was the first team in the All-Star game to be able to score 200 points or more. That's crazy. To be able to score that much, but again, it's an All-Star game. You have all the greats together. What else do you expect? Alright, guys, we are going to take a little bit of a break. We're going to talk a little bit more. We're going to deep dive into some NFL and MLB stuff here in just a little bit. Thank you guys so much for listening to Black Girl Radio and In a Flash. We'll be back in just a flash, and yay! Room looks cool. Thank you. Lala's a good song. I don't know if I have Lala. Yeah, I don't have it, unfortunately. If you guys have other recommendations for songs, let me know. Whew. Gotta rest my voice a little bit. And again, guys, if you want to hear the music, you gotta go to blacksquirrelradio.com to be able to see it. It's in the pin. It's in the pin. You guys know what to do. You guys know what to do. No, that's not what I meant. Well, I didn't. I mean, I slept pretty well, but it's like, woo, woo. I'm just kind of here. We're going to talk about the NFL free agents here in just a moment. Ew. I don't know why I smile like that. That's literally gross. Just E. It's like a toddler smiley, just E. I'm not gonna sing. I'm not. I mean, I am, but I'm not. That's funny. Wee. Wee. Man, looking at this free agency list is kind of crazy. Dang, there's a lot of people on this list who are free agents that are kind of big names, that are big deals. Whee! Oh boy. But so, let's see here. Appreciate you guys for watching the stream. I'm sorry I'm not really talking too much. I'm trying to rest my breath here just a little bit before we start to talk about free agency, which I'm not really too familiar with. So stand by on that. No, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. All right. I didn't have caffeine. I haven't been drinking caffeine, guys. So I'm a little more tired. Not having that, false stimulant, Ooh, don't do that. So, and going based on what you guys said about the room looks cool, these are a bunch of different posters. Well, not so much here, but like all the way down this wall, there is a bunch of posters of just different shows that are running now, and also like past shows. So it is pretty cool in here. There's just different mics and whatnot. I can have like different hosts here, and then just kind of like just sitting here mixing the show and what have you. So, we got one more song before break. And so, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, requests for songs, put them in the chat. If you guys want to hear the songs and follow along, or if you guys can't watch stream but you guys still want to listen to the show, you guys can do that at blacksquirrelradio.com. And any updates on any of the shows and what have you will also be on there and their socials. You can follow my socials. Link is in potentially the description. If not, you can go to the description of my channel and be able to see that. Oh man. Gonna talk a little bit about the free agency. There's some names on here, and I'm just like, oh, those are free agents? Yikes. But there's one big talk of the town. You guys will be able to hear a little bit of the talk of the town here. If you guys stick around and listen to the rest of the show. One of our last things we gotta do this week, guys. Just gonna do some news producing tomorrow. And we have an episode of Overtime tomorrow, which is a sports show. If you guys are interested in sports. Homework. So much homework to do. Hopefully we'll be able to get some of that done. Just kind of waiting on a break. Let's see. Oh, we're going back in 40 seconds. 35 seconds. Thank you guys so much for watching the show. Make sure, if you haven't already, make sure you share out the stream. Big talk going on in some of the most national sports here is that we have another but just bunch of deadlines. That this is, yes, spring sports, but it's also deadline season, and that being that, well, free agency. Free agency begins pretty soon for the NFL. And there's some big names, and there's big talks going around on who those free agency are. Should they stay with their current team? Should they go to different teams? What did they do? What should happen? So on and so forth of what's happening here. And honestly, free agency opens at 4 p.m. on March 13th. That is in no time at all for these teams. And one of the biggest names in this talk right now is Kirk Cousins, and whether or not Kirk Cousins should stay with the Minnesota Vikings or should go to a different team is one of the biggest talks. And especially now coming off of the torn Achilles tendon that Kirk. I mean, that's a big injury to come back from. And he had that at the start of the 2024 season, and the Vikings soon honestly found out of how it feels to not have Kirk Cousins at the wheel. And honestly, the Vikings personally should try to keep Kirk Cousins around. He's a good quarterback. Be able to get him targets that he would be able to get the ball to. I think Kirk Cousins is a good fit for the Vikings. However, if you're Kirk Cousins and like the standpoint there, he has to ask himself, should I leave to a different team or should I stay in Minnesota? And if I'm being honest, for himself, he should stay in Minnesota, because staying in going somewhere else is a big jump, especially coming off an injury. Like, that's the thing, is like when you have your free agency and you're able to do that and have a, whether it's a good season or a bad season or whatnot, it completely changes it when you're coming back from an injury, especially an injury like the one that he's had. And it makes the math a little bit harder on what the players should be able to or should do, what they should be able to do. It just makes it harder on them. And I think for both parties, it's beneficial for Kirk Cousins to just stay in Minnesota. But I'm scrolling through this list here. I got 100 free agents here on this list. All right, and I'm scrolling through, and I'm like, okay, so there's some names on here, different safeties. We got some wide receivers on here and stuff. And I get to a part of the list where I'm just like, oh, they're a free agent. That's interesting. And one of those, there's actually two. There's two. They're from the same team. They're both from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Two to very much note is Baker Mayfield and Mike Evans find themselves in free agency here in just a couple of weeks, and what Tampa Bay should do. Starting with Mike Evans, Mike Evans is a 30-year-old receiver, but he has 10 straight seasons of 1,000 yards plus of being able to show that he's a Hall of Fame worthy receiver. And I mean, now, he was able to play with Tom Brady. He was able to get that Super Bowl ring, and he has shown, even with Baker Mayfield, that he is a Hall of Fame worthy um, player, and he has this big resume to be able to do that. He has a big play threat, and especially the size of him, and be able to get around and be able to catch the ball. However, again, there's always a factor that comes into play when re-looking at these contracts, when re-signing these contracts. And again, that's number one is injury, like we talked about with Cousins. But now his age starts to play a little bit of a factor on what size of a deal that he can get for how much. And that's the problem in which Mike Evans faces, is will his age play a factor into trying to get out of this free agency? However, for a team that needs that person who has that experience, who has that resume of those 1,000+ yards, like with those games, it's important for them to keep that in mind, especially if he decides to move away from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And again, same thing. Tampa Bay is facing another big name leaving their team in Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield, floating from the Browns to the Panthers to the Rams, and then finding a temporary home in Tampa Bay. They took the Bucks took a gamble on Baker after Tom Brady left. They needed somebody to be able to fill those shoes of Tom Brady, to be able to try to replicate. How do we get back to the Super Bowl again? How do we get back to that point of being one of the best teams in the NFL again? And they took a chance and chose Baker Mayfield. Now, however, after that gamble, Baker answered the call. He was able to get them back to the playoffs, and you know he wants a new deal. I don't see realistically Baker and the Bucks parting ways. He got results. He won the division. He got them to the playoffs. They won a playoff game. I don't see them anytime soon not being in cahoots anymore. So, but it all comes down to what money and what time and effort are they willing to put in to be able to keep that name, to be able to keep Mayfield. Again, scrolling like on this list of 100, another name that stood out to me who's now going to be entering this free agency market is Shaquan Barkley from the New York Giants, running back. What do you do in a climate that there almost is a shortage of running backs in the NFL? Quality running backs. What do you do as the New York Giants, who had a very lackluster year this past season? What do you do? Are you going to go in the direction again of talking about having that experienced player, having that person be able to stick around, hold the team together, have that experience, have somebody who can not only run the ball but who can occasionally catch it. However, looking at this past season, looking at Barkley this past season, is it worth it? Barkley only played on a 1-year deal last season, and honestly, he didn't really have this season that proved that he needed to continue to be a part of this team. And it's going to be hard for him to be able to sell himself back to the Giants, or even honestly sell himself to a different team. However, different teams will be looking, just because again of that lackluster, having an experienced running back who makes those plays, who are able to get those big gainage. I don't see Barkley going back to the Giants. I see Barkley having a new home. And this one, and finally to kind of like wrap this up a little bit, another name that is sticking out is Tyron Smith of the Dallas Cowboys. He's the offensive tackle. There's a couple of things, like we talked about age being a factor. We talked about injury being a factor. This is the one that has a mixture of both as a factor. Tyron Smith, at the age of 33, has been dealing with a lot of injuries the past couple seasons, keeping him out for seasons, missing a bunch of games, not being able to play in those key games where he's been needed. Once again, it comes back to value. Does he have the value that he needs to be able to continue on this team? And I think Smith has really shown that when he's in games, he's able to step up and be able to do stuff with those games. However, again, with him being older, with 33 and all those injuries, is it worth being able to keep him on the team when you can get somebody else close to that caliber? Can you match that caliber for the price that you're looking at? And honestly, I feel like even though with the problems of his age, with the problems of the injury, I think a lot of teams still look at him just because, again, it's another one of those things. We said it before with Mike Evans. We'll say it again with different players here of just having that resume that shows Hall of Fame could be potential. So even if I didn't name them, there's still quite a bit of names that are going in there of free agency. There's a lot of things that teams have to keep in mind going in with free agency as they prepare for the draft in the coming months. There's a lot to consider, there's a lot to do, and it's going to be exciting to see where these teams go and see what happens with these teams. Because there's a lot to consider. I mean, there's a lot to consider, especially with the first round pick within the draft with Caleb Williams, targeted at being the first pick in the draft. There's a lot of talks of what should the Bears do with Justin Fields? Do they stay with Justin Fields or do they try to get another quarterback? What happens there? Again, Justin Fields worth it? There's a lot that goes into this. Coming up here after the break, we are going to talk a little bit about the upcoming MLB season and also a bunch of streaming platforms and sports drama. More to come. Stay tuned. Thank you for listening to Black Squirrel Radio. Whew. I was gonna say when I saw that Smith one, I was like, oh, Cowboys go home, huh, huh, like that cat meme. And I'm like, ooh. Dude, I'm so happy spring training starts today. It's gonna be exciting to be able to watch that. I'm so excited. Hmm. Oh, it's the next story we guys are gonna talk about. It's gonna be exciting. Well, I've got a few minutes left in our show, friends, because I have to wrap up the show at 45 just to give the next just let the next show in so they can prepare and get their playlist and whatnot a going. So we just gotta vibe for the next couple minutes. I like taking break right before, um, so that way I could do my last little bits of talking and be able to say the last little bit of news and talk about the last little bit of things that I want to talk about. Um, and wrap up my show and whatnot. So we do have like 17 minutes left in our show, but we are able to keep talking because I do want to finish up a little bit early just so I can clean up the stream gear and whatnot. So I hope you guys are enjoying the stream. I'm glad that I'm back to streaming a little bit. Hopefully we can get some more streams going. I need to get better lighting. But unfortunately this is the lighting that it comes with. Got the big lights on next time, I guess, but we'll just kind of see of what ends up happening. Also, if you guys missed the episode or if you guys are coming in late, I'm going to be editing the stream down to be able to go into more of a podcast format. So you guys can just kind of listen without like the music breaks and whatnot. So if you guys want to see that or excited for that, press the like button. And honestly, I should do the intro. I don't know. No, not gonna be intro. It's not gonna be more of like an outro and stuff, but we'll see. We'll see the. We'll kind of see what happens. So hey, weekly post on YouTube. Let's go. I'm hoping weekly, and then we'll get hopefully weekly. It just might be a week behind for episodes. And then also we'll be posting stuff that I do for Sports Corner, stuff we do for Overtime. And hopefully we'll be doing some vlogs and stuff. I'm gonna probably put a poll out today to see if anybody would want to see a vlog of me directing, maybe. Honestly, just kind of what videos that people want to see. I haven't done a Fortnite video. I did record the first episode of a Lego Fortnite series. I don't know if I'm going to continue that or not. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. But we like, if I'm going to do gaming and stuff, I want to get other people involved in gaming and whatnot. So, get some other people. Hi, Owen. Sport. Yeah, that's literally what this is. Sports. Oh, I'm so tired. We're coming to the end. It's okay, guys. It's coming to the end. Again, if you guys want to continue listening to my show, if you guys want to hear the music of my show, I can send funny little tiny words. I know, but what's really funny about I don't know if I should tell you this. When you press it, it comes up on my screen. I'm like, huh? So, yeah, there's that. Guys, again, if you guys want to listen to my show or other shows, check out blacksquirrelradio.com. What's up, Alex? The last 15 of a show podcast is the most grueling. I feel it. No, literally. It is. Like, use at school? Nice. Again, I'm going to edit this down. So if you guys, like, missed episodes or whatnot, and just want to see my goofiness, it's just going to be more of, like, a summary of the stream, since I do talk to you guys in between me doing, like, bits and whatnot for the show. So it's like you get like talk here of like personal stuff or just about sports and whatnot, and then we have like more like sports stuff going on, which when this, I'm gonna be going back here in a couple, like I'll be going back, because I do have a couple stories that I want to do before I end. So after the song, guys, I'm going back to it. So I hope you guys kind of like this format. Vibe odd at start, but mood peaks at like 40 to 70% of the show. No, for real. I was just getting into it about the NFL. Is this your first BSR? Yeah, this ain't my first. This is my second show, but my first semester. So no, this is my first semester with BSR. All right, I gotta get back. I gotta lock back in. I want to go back. We gotta finish. We're gonna finish out the show strong, guys, and then we're gonna do a little bit of X. I'm gonna try to end a little bit early, so I can get my stuff cleaned up and whatnot. And get out of here for the next show, guys. Go to BSR Radio right now if you want to listen to the next show. Here we are. Welcome back, guys, to In a Flash. Now, we did talk a little bit about the NFL free agency. We did talk a little bit about, Caitlin Clark's career and stuff. But again, we talked about this last episode here is the streaming platform that ESPN, Fox, Hulu, and Warner Bros. Are doing. And one point that I did make is how it feels like there's going to be no competition, and there is another streaming platform, well, more so TV, that also agrees with that, as this almost feels like an almost monopoly that is happening. And so Fubo TV filed a lawsuit over the streaming platform that they're going to do, and the lawsuit happened in they're filing it in New York. And the lawsuit has to do with, again, and I quote, each of these companies have consistently engaged in anti-competitive practices that aim to monopolize the market, stifle any form of competition, create higher pricing for subscribers, and cheat consumers from deserved choices. That was a quote from David Gandler, the co-founder and CEO of Fubo TV. And I 100% agree. That was my biggest concern looking back at it, is what are they gonna charge? That was the biggest question. It's really cool to be able to have all these sports and all these different networks come together into one and be able to see what's gonna happen. But when you start to think about, okay, what are they gonna charge? They can literally charge anything that they want because there's no competition in what's gonna happen. All these companies staying separate are like, okay, so they have different competitions. It'd be like, like I brought up last time, is YouTube has the NFL, you have ESPN that has deals with the NHL, Fox, NBC, CBS, all sharing deals and being able to shift around the Super Bowl. If we have all these things coming together and only having one place, it's not a good idea. It's not a good idea to monopolize stuff. And being able to eliminate choice, being able to not have that anymore, it was one of my biggest concerns. Now, again, at the forefront, it's like, yes, all these different places, I only have to pay for, one subscription. But is that one subscription gonna be a whole pocket full of money? What is it gonna be? It just scares me. It was one of my biggest concerns now when I first looked at it, when I started to first read articles and whatnot. I'm like, someone's gonna say something, and I'm glad that Fubo TV has, and I'm glad they made that lawsuit. David Gandler also made the comment that, quote, simply put, the sports cartel blocked out our playbook for many years, and now they effectively stealing it for themselves, end quote. I 100% agree with that, of how it feels like they're stealing away from consumers. They're not giving consumers choices, and only having one place to go for that, it's hard to have different opinions on stuff, especially when you start to look at it from a broadcast and anchor sort of perspective. It's only having one place for something, it's not good. Whether in sports or not in sports, it's not good. And I honestly, I don't think the consumer is going to win, especially now. However, Fubo bringing that up, I'm glad they did, because that is scary at first, to be able to do that, especially with that being able to happen soon. Another thing that is happening, however, in the whole streaming and gambling and sports world, is Apple releases a new sports app for the iPhone. It's a new gambling app, and I'm very split on it, with Apple Sports, they do show sports scores and they're good at doing that. But adding this whole nother part of sports, I'm scared that Apple has a part in that. I mean, I understand. Again, it comes down to money. It comes down to being able to make money. It's making stuff easier for consumers. Um, but again, it's about these different companies, these bigger companies trying to make money off of sports, especially because like we talked about earlier with how sports is starting to get bigger, especially with women in sports. So those are the things I wanted to update on with that and with Fubu TV with doing that lawsuit, just updates on that and whatnot. So it'll be an interesting thing to keep an eye on. It'll be an interesting thing to be able to do. And honestly, just a lot of things going on within sports. Once again, big games coming up this weekend for Kent State. Women's basketball, men's basketball, both playing our rivals in one in Akron on Friday for the men's game, one in Kent for our women's team. So a bunch of different sports going on this weekend as well. Guys, if you want to stay up to date with that and just kind of behind the scenes, you guys can follow me on my socials and also stay up to date with just different things going on with Black School Radio and different shows and whatnot. Thank you guys so much for listening to In a Flash. And guys, stick around. More shows are going to come up. And have fun. Have a good rest of your day, guys. I'm Katie. Thank you so much for listening. Peace. Whee! I made video. I did the thing. I wanted to end early just so I can end stream and whatnot. Thanks for the little salute. And media conglomerates try not to eliminate the existence of indie media challenge impossible. No, literally, that was one of my biggest things. I'm just that's not good for anyone. That's not good for the consumer. I'm like, no, I even think I even said it last week. It was that's a monopoly. I'm like, I don't like that. The convenience I'm here for, the price I'm terrified of. And I'm hoping this lawsuit does what we need it to be able to do. So, guys, I'm gonna end stream with that so I have time to clean up here. Let the next host in, guys. Listen to the next show, Trainwreck. Amazing host, amazing show. Make sure you guys listen to it. Check out blacksquirrelradio.com. Check me out on social medias and Black Squirrel Radio social medias. I appreciate each and every one of you for watching. And until next time, peace.